So my name's Major Tim Reid. I'm the second in command of East Midlands OTC in Nottingham. I'm a reservist, have been for 8 years, and an ex-regular. In my day job, I'm a chartered surveyor. I work for a company called Savills, managing commercial property. So the idea of today's event is for our regional brigade to provide an opportunity for civilian companies to send their staff to get some leadership experience and to find out a little bit about how the Army does leadership, both in theory and practical. So my role within that today has been as one of the directing staff, and I've chaperoned one of the groups around, helped them with a few of the practical exercises around leadership theory and leadership development, and then also work with them on the command tasks that we've had this afternoon, nominating some leaders to complete those, and generally make sure that they move through the day smoothly and that they enjoy themselves. I think they will have gleaned quite an insight into the way that the military practices leadership, its doctrine, some of its values and standards, which hopefully aren't too dissimilar to their own or their organisations. But hopefully they'll have seen some different ways of doing things, some techniques, some ideas, and some of the different varieties of leadership that you can employ. So leadership across quite a broad spectrum.
Come on, go on, keep going.
Go on,
get your legs
right,
go.
What's that? Go on, idiot.
Yes, done it.
Even I didn't see that.
Good. Pass me that plank. Honesty.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to get involved today was some colleagues came on this event last year and really enjoyed it, and I thought it sounded really interesting to take part in. I like taking part in physical activities. It was interesting to learn about sort of an Army's perspective on leadership as well. So with this morning we went over sort of different styles of leadership, but it was also interesting to hear sort of the Army's perspective and how the Army talks about their values and standards of a leader, and bringing it to life with sort of group work and real life examples, thinking about leaders out in sort of politics and in media, etc. So that was interesting to try and think of it in that way, and just different people's perspectives on what makes a good leader. Describe it as a good way to sort of focus on actually what leadership is, because I don't think you really have time to reflect on it, especially when you are sort of maybe a manager or a leader. You don't really get to reflect on what you're doing. So hearing about how different people describe leadership is a really good way to sort of reflect on your own leadership style maybe, and maybe even your own manager's style, and sort of bring that back to the office. And also it's a good opportunity to get involved in group tasks as well, which is always fun, and the sun is shining, so that always helps as well, so yeah.
Sure. We've got 9 minutes.
Right, two more.
Today's event was very greatly organised, and I really enjoyed meeting a lot of different people. I enjoyed the interactivity, I enjoyed the learning, because I think I got a lot out of it. I think I learned some things. I do leadership today, and I also advise on it and have for many years, but I think I still came out of it with a lot of food for thought. I also appreciate the approach. One of the things I really enjoyed was that it wasn't presented in a we know best attitude, but the way it was presented was perfect. It was just think about these things, and certainly there were some great things for me to think about.
So today we've gone from theory, kind of understanding of what leadership entails, for then going into group discussions, getting everybody's input, and then this afternoon taking more of a practical understanding of communication, team building, and effectively and most importantly understanding that it's okay to make mistakes and restart again.
That was our video.
I think what I wanted to gain from today was mainly putting myself in the people that I deal with everyday shoes, and also in terms of my personal development, working with bigger teams and working with an organisation as a consultant more than anything to help them develop. Having an insight into how some of the best leaders in the world work can always help in terms of how you can nitpick different parts of information and different little tips. I didn't really know what to expect from today, so it was really good to have both the theory side and the practical side, and be able to take loads of different aspects of that you can use in your day-to-day job. So I think that didn't really know what to expect, but really glad and did take an awful lot from it.